trying to determine is the level of your competence, the level of your experience that you bring to public office, that you bring to the position of ambassadorship to Beijing. And if there were others who would be able to serve more ably in that position, given their long and vast experience and training in the field of diplomacy.
Your Honor, that be the choice of the President. I cannot
Mr.
comment.
Ambassador, that is not my question. And if you don't understand my question, you might have difficulty understanding the signals that you might inadvertently pick up in Beijing, which you are supposed to report to the headquarters of the Department of Foreign Affairs. Halimbawa, wala si Pinoy sa picture. Bakit po si Domingo ang dapat iluklok doon sa Beijing?
That is the competence count when at that time. So I think I have the competence of being we did.
Mr. Lee, you have not proven any particular field of competence in the area of diplomacy. Nothing. Except that you fixed some overstaying Filipinos in Taiwan, and you also charmed the former head of the Bureau of Immigration to allow overstaying Chinese to remain in the Philippines. That's all you've done. And those certainly are not, to me, personally, and probably to most of the members of the committee, if not all, qualifications for you to be appointed to Beijing, which, in our minds, would be the most critical diplomatic post in the next 10 to 20 years.
Your Honor, I have been contacting with several countries' leaders from I cannot mention it in this short statement. Even the Singapore president now, the son of Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, I have presented my photos. Those I don't have it with me. It's already submitted. The president of Lee Kuan Yew now, the son of Lee Kuan Yew, is the president whom I have met before. And there are even other, at that time, not even, they have no position. They are now in a high position. Even in China, when I have visited there, they become very high ranking.
Actually, Mr. Ambassador.
But I did not put it on a newspaper like other people, publicity. I did not receive any single centavos. Even the 1 pesos, I did not have it. I don't expect it.
Actually, Mr. Ambassador, socially, anybody can meet anybody, and that would certainly not signify competence whatsoever. So we'd like you to convince the committee that you do have some original ideas, that you can think out of the box, that you have made some proposals, which to us would at least signal that you have developed some form of competence in the area into which you're about to intrude. But so far I have heard almost nothing that would qualify you.
Excuse me. So many things we have to do. Historical-wise, I have my 50 years because of the environment. I have contact with China, but I have no official title. But I was treated like a high official. I attend all these state dinner.
That's what bothers me. You attend the socials.
Not exactly social. They are conference.
Have you ever been part of any working group of the Philippine government to China? I mean, we
And
do send working missions there, dealing with trade or
conference,
tourism or culture or economic,
cultural,
cultural.
yes.
Would you like to
Because
expound on
politically,
that?
I'm not interested in political.
You're not interested in
Political. The others, I always participate when they are invited.
Mr. Ambassador, our whole connection with China is political. Our biggest
No, I
problem
mean
with China
the,
is
the, Chi-
political.
the China internal political. I'm sorry I have to correct that. We don't interfere their political.
Oh no, I realize that, and neither do they try to interfere with our political system, at least in the open. But still, I'd like to know if our government has ever included you in any mission whatsoever to China.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Would you like to
That was business delegates
business delegate to what?
to Beijing
When?
during the present era.
Oh, Mr. I'm very sorry. That doesn't quite qualify us.
No, I
as-
just
as a-
mentioned a few, no? And that is, it just come to my mind. And
There
I'm
are
sure-
normally 100 businessmen that all try to get included into those junkets accompanying the president on either on official or state visits. And we all know that here. Many senators and congressmen are also invited
I don't,
to come along, and we don't do anything but
will-
jump from place to place and applaud every speech, which probably the same speech.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't participate in such kind of affair.
All right.
My state visit last time with presidents to China, we are just a group of 8 and 9 officially.
Yes. And what did you accomplish?
I accomplished. I act as a presidential advisor.
On what particular matter?
I always beside him for some interpretation and some advice
You were an
when I am
interpreter.
asked. Not officially interpreter, but I stay beside him from time to time if he needs me, or I voluntarily.
Wouldn't you
what-
be? I beg your pardon.
I immediately tell him, sometime that cannot be wait until he asks me, because I used to wait until if I'm asked, I will say. As an advisor, not necessarily you have to keep on telling him what to do. But if I'm not asked, I will not say. But there are incidents I cannot hold until he asks, because I have to call his attention. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Let's take a look at the map that's projected on the wall, Mr. Ambassador. Are you familiar with the 9-dash line?
I try to give you my.
Mr. Ambassador, are you familiar with the 9-dash line?
Okay.
Are you familiar with the 9-dash line?
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Can you point out where the 9-dash line is? Can you first describe to the committee what the 9-dash line is, and would you like to point it out on the map? That is a map of the South China Sea, West Philippine Sea.
In the 1940s, China started using a map which drew an imaginary line broken into 9-dash line around the South China Sea, which extended their territory to cover all within the 9 dashes. That's the 9 dashes. Your Honor.
Let me send you a pointer and point out to the committee